Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library.
Lethal Weapon. How surprising, a movie game on the Game Boy. The year is 1987 and the movie Lethal Weapon was a massive hit. The story of Riggs and Murtaugh putting aside their differences to work together as partners and take down a drug smuggling ring helped to redefine buddy cop movies, influencing them for years to come. It had action, it had intrigue, it had humor, and it had enough staying power to spawn a full franchise that resulted in 3 more movies and a TV show. So how do you translate that to video games? I'm not sure. I've never actually seen Lethal Weapon, but it had action and it had guns, and most importantly, it was popular in the 90s, so you knew the Game Boy would eventually come calling. Developed by Ocean Software, Lethal Weapon hit NES and Game Boy in 1997. Yes, 1997, a full 10 years after the initial movie release. In fact, if anything, it was released in conjunction with Lethal Weapon 3. Now, granted, this isn't too uncommon, as oftentimes games come years after the movie release, and heck, Lethal Weapon was still a pretty popular franchise, but it just seems odd that they'd wait until near the end of the Game Boy's lifespan to release Lethal Weapon, especially since by that point, the popularity of this series was starting to wane. It's kind of the exact opposite of Double Dragon, where they released a movie 7 years after the game came out. As you would expect, the box art recreates the movie poster, with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover getting ready for action. Oh, and Joe Pesci is there too. Get it? Because he's short, you see. I won't lie, I got a bad feeling about this one, but I ain't too old for this yet. It's Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon, copyright Ocean. Ocean. Thank you. And Eurocom. Oh, they made some stuff. Oh. This music is something. It feels like it's trying to start, but it just can't. So I'm not going to give it the chance. Let's go. Lethal Weapon. Looks like we're starting at the mall. I just have a feeling this is going to be a terrible side-scroller. And low was no. Oh, it's a beat-em-up, kinda? Oh, no, it's a beat-em-up. I just have a gun. Hiya, 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 hiya. I believe this is Riggs. Okay, this looks like something I can pick up. I remember that part of the movie where Riggs jumped 50 feet. For all I know, that happened, by the way. Like I said, I've never actually seen Lethal Weapon. Kung Fu, I tell you. Graphics-wise, I've seen worse, I'll say that. It's a little monotonous in terms of how it looks, but I mean, I don't think it looks bad. There's a decent amount of detail on Riggs. Oh, right, can't you do this? Yeah, I actually remember hearing about this. You can switch between Riggs and Murtaugh by walking off screen to the left. You really don't see that many full-on beat-em-ups on the Game Boy. You never really went full beat-em-up, just because with beat-em-ups you really need, Oh, that wasn't ammo. Am I? Okay, let's just do this. Yeah. Ow, he threw a grenade at my crotch. What a jerk. Hey, guys. Hey, wait, no, put those down. Hey. Hey, hey. Oh, shoot, they got away. I do think it's kind of funny that so far, it seems a lot more effective to punch people than shoot them. So now I am curious if this is going to go in the direction of something like Streets of Rage 2. In my opinion, the single greatest beat-em-up ever. Where it starts with you beating up guys like this and then eventually graduates to you're fighting people with jetpacks and sentient murder robots. There don't appear to be any combos or anything. It's very, very cut down in terms of what you can do. At the same time, though, I don't know, there's a certain charm to games like this. Ooh, grenade in the face. Minor damage. Would you friggin'... There we go. Alright, does anyone have any energy? Murtaugh! Hello! I just noticed the walking animation is weird because the legs are overly animated, but the upper body is not animated at all. Whoa! That's funny to me. Bonk! Oh, that didn't hit him. Hang on a sec. Jump. Jump. Wow, they actually have different stats. Riggs can jump higher than Murtaugh. I appreciate that. I appreciate they actually have differences between the two. Just because, Lethal Weapon is all about the two of them, obviously. And so actually making some difference between them is good. I really hope there's a boss. And I hope it's really, like, out of control. I hope it's just like a giant spider or something. Oh my god, the boss, a fat person. I kind of love this game. Even though it's not great, it's entertaining the heck out of me. Oh, this music's pretty great. Riggs! Hello. We did it! Quickly, to the gardens! Look at these gardens. You can tell they're gardens by the way there's no plants. Yeah, this music is a banger. This is pretty darn good music. Is there a way to, like, duck or anything? You know what, hang on. I just want to check to see if there's any controls I'm missing. I can't find any, like, guide to this game, but I found a bunch of reviews calling this a 1 out of 10? What? No way! Maybe this game is nothing special, but it's so far completely playable and fine. I don't know, maybe standards have changed. Maybe it's just because I've played games that are infinitely worse than this, but this game seems completely fine to me. Uh-oh. Oh god, wait a sec. Is he... He is! Oh no, Riggs is dead. It's a totally standard and kind of fun beat-em-up that doesn't really excel, but also does everything at a baseline pretty well. The fact that there's two characters with different stats is interesting. The enemies are pretty repetitive, but the music's nice. I mean, doing stuff like this is a little obnoxious, but I don't know. I don't think this game's that bad, which is surprising. I don't know, when you see Lethal Weapon the game, you kind of expect it to be horrid. In fact, I'm gonna say something very controversial yet very brave. I think this game is kind of fun. I like these old school simplistic beat-em-ups. Certainly no Streets of Rage 2, again the exemplar of beat-em-ups forever. But worth a play, at least. Especially because I got to beat up that fat guy in the first level who was the boss. You could tell he was a boss by the way he had a slightly different sprite. This is where I make the Lethal Weapon joke, but again, I haven't seen the movie. So let's just get right into the game instead. When you have a movie-based game released years after the movie came out, and it's a beat-em-up on the Game Boy, you have a recipe for disaster. But I was pleasantly surprised that the game ended up being pretty fun. Now, that does require some qualification, since it wasn't exactly a masterpiece. It was as many old beat-em-ups were, fairly monotonous and samey with a very small variety of enemies and only basic kicks and punches or gunfire to use. But at the same time, there's something a bit charming about that, you know? As great as a game like Streets of Rage 2 was, sometimes this simplicity just works. And what also works is a lot of the little things in this game. The way you could walk off screen to switch characters was a good way to incorporate both Riggs and Murtaugh into the game, and the fact that they have different stats like varying jump heights added a bit of depth. Gameplay-wise, even with a general lack of complexity, it still played totally fine, giving you all the basic cathartic enjoyment that beat-em-ups should have. And I would be remiss not to mention that the music in the game was fantastic. Definitely the highlight. It's one of those games that maybe doesn't stand out with anything it does, but it also doesn't really fall flat anywhere either, resulting in a pretty solid game all things considered. Man, who would have expected Lethal Weapon of all things to end up being alright? It's nothing incredible, but hey, if you're in the mood for a simple handheld beat-em-up, then this game is certainly a solid way to scratch that itch. Way better than the reviews say anyway. Seriously guys, a 1? I've played 1,000 games worse than this. And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm Brian J, and I'll see you next time.